say a wife or everything are joy giving. It's a very wrong idea. The joy comes from your own source of your spirit. Whether your husband is good, whether your children are good or bad, whatever they cannot give you joy. It's only you can enjoy yourself. And this is why one becomes very forgiving. When nobody can harm you, then whom are you going to be angry with? That is another great quality of Sadashiva, is that he is extremely forgiving. He goes up to a point till he destroys the whole work of Adishakti. But otherwise he is very, very forgiving. And he also is very balanced about it. Once the Adishakti got very angry with the whole world was so decadent and all that, and she started destroying everything. So he put a little child under her feet, and such a big tongue came out with such a shock, she stopped her destruction. So his ways are such that a person who is to develop the Shiva principle within himself should be extremely forgiving. I know there are people who are very cruel, who are very torturesome. If you cannot bear it, all right, finish it off. I'll stand by you there. But if you can bear it, it's better to bear and undergo this experience of bearing it, because it's not difficult to bear than to get out of it. For example, a lady came to me and she said, I'm going to divorce my husband. I said, why? Because he comes home very late and I get very little of him. But I said, when you divorce, you will not get him at all. What's the logic? At least now you see him, whatever it is, whenever, whatever time is there. But this is no solution. If you divorce him, you'll never see him. So what's the use of such a divorce? So many things like that can be understood once you are a detached person, that you are not to be attached to anything. Now, who can aggress you if you are not attached to anyone? Nobody can. Only thing, when you feel that you have to protest, you should, but with detachment. In protest also is important to absolutely to have a complete detachment. Now the main problem before us today is something else, is that we all have to ascend. And ascend with the equal strength. There's a story about some birds who were caught in a net. So they decided that we should get out of this net. And they tried. Everybody tried to get out. But nobody individually could work it out. So they all decided to fly together, 1, 2, 3, and go. And they took all that net with them, and they say then they requested the rats that please come and cut our net, and they were freed. So if it can happen between the rats and the birds, why not between us? So in collectivity, you will be amazed in the collectivity how we could be helpful and joyous with each other. Now say something is wrong with your mother, father, sister, somebody. Doesn't matter. After all, you have the ocean of joy here with the collectivity. And your problems can be solved if collectively, if you want to solve your problem. So we have to depend on the collectivity. Very much to be one with the collective. I feel once you jump into the sea of Sahaja, the joy itself draws you together. Meeting each other is such a joyous thing. We have had so many experiences of that, of Sahaja yogis who have told me how happy they were to find Sahaja somewhere out of the blue, and how they felt happy. So this tie between the Sahajogis is really the most joyous channel, and that is what is the source, we should say, of our becoming one together. Once you start enjoying each other. I have told you once a story of a great poet in India whose name was Namadeva, who was a tailor. And there was another one who was a potter. Sometimes I miss out in English words. This potter was another poet, and he was called as Gora Kumbha. So when Namadeva went to meet him, a saint only feels like meeting a saint, looked at him, and he just stood back. Then he said a beautiful couplet. He says that I came here to see the formless Chaitanya, but here the Chaitanya is in the form. Nirgunacha bheti alo sagunachi. I came to see the formless, to see the vibrations, but here it is in the form that I see it. Only a saint can say this to another saint. This kind of appreciation, this subtle appreciation is only possible between the two saints or between the many. They don't see he was kneading the clay. He was wearing a dirty dhoti doing that work. He never saw all these things. He never saw his body, face or anything. But he saw that the divinity personified it. This sensitivity of feeling for others, Sahajogis, should really develop within you. Then you won't care for nonsensical, superficial things. And this is one of the great principles of Shiva. He doesn't bother. You see, his hair are all matted up. He sits on a fast-moving bull with both the legs like that, going for his wedding. Can you imagine? And all his friends, all his followers are somebody has only one eye, another has only one hand, one is bent like that. Because for him, the outside personality doesn't matter. What matters is the spirituality. Whether you have one eye or whether you have a crooked body makes no difference to him. To him, all of them are his own people. Because nothing that is superficial attracts his attention, but the divinity in a person. We have so many ways of understanding his principle because he is all pervading. If you feel compassion for someone, it works. It definitely works. Recently there was a case of some sort of a incurable disease in Mexico. And the lady who was Mexican, who was working in the UN, she's still working in UN, she wrote to me 2 letters that, Mother, I am going to lose my son because he has this horrible disease. I mean, just she wrote to me. I just felt such compassion for her because she wrote a letter which brought tears to my eyes. And imagine those tears have cured that boy. Something follow. काय माहिती काय has cured that boy completely. And she wrote me a letter of thanking and all. I was amazed because my compassion is not mental, it just works, it's just there, just flows and works it out. In the same way, you can also become that. I want you to have all my powers. But first is the compassion. And a Sahaja cannot ill treat another person, anyone, whether he's a Sahaja or not a Sahaja. That's not important. But nobody can aggress other Sahajogis. If you say even he is a non-Sahajogi, Sahajogi should never aggress. That's not a sign of a Sahajogi. Sahajogi is different. Like the other day somebody said, I said, you're very hot-tempered. Yes, yes, I am. When somebody provokes me, I said, everybody when he's provoked only gets angry. Only the mad people are such who do not get angry even if they are provoked. You see. So, if you get angry when you are provoked, is nothing so great. Everybody gets angry like that when you are provoked. But if you say that if you are not provoked, then you will not get angry. That sort of a state is very different. So, what I find that in the whole atmosphere of today, in the modern times, there's a big struggle going on, which is not Shiva's culture. Shiva's culture is the Sahaj culture. If you are Sahajogis, you should have compassionate understanding of others' feelings, and also you should have readiness to look after not only Sahajogis, also non-Sahajogis. Then your compassion will become effective. Now, as you know, today the biggest problem of today's civilization is that Western culture has gone to dogs. They are going, I mean, when you read the newspaper, you are shocked the way things are happening. I don't know how many will realize it before their destruction. It's really self-destructive. On one side, this is the self-indulgent and permissive society which is working. Now, on the other side, I find the Islamic culture is trying to oppose it. That's correct. They are trying to oppose it is correct. But the way they are opposing is creating problems. If you oppress somebody, don't do this, don't do that, then they'll do it much more. I'll give you the example that if you go into the north of India, the culture is more Islamic. And the people are very licentious and all the time looking at women, not all, but many. Though they say they are Hindus or they say this and that, but still they have all these bad habits which have come from the Islamic suppression. When a woman is completely covered and nobody can see her, they become much more curious. I have some people who came to Bombay and somebody was traveling with me and he was looking at every woman on the street. I said, your neck will break now the way you are going on. But it is a common practice there. Not only that, but this curiosity goes too far and people can become extremely immoral just like we are in the West. So the suppression of your desires is also wrong. Also this culture which outwardly suppresses, but inwardly people are very immoral. Once I was traveling from Riyadh to London and I went off to sleep. When I got up, I saw some other people sitting there all very nicely dressed up with short skirts and men with all the bow ties and this and that. So I asked their hostess, did we stop somewhere? She said, no, no, we have been going directly. I said, then who are these people? Same. They are so much changed. I mean, I was surprised that they were wearing such long, these chadar and all that, and now here they are with all these funny dresses. I couldn't understand. That's what happened. The curiosity created by suppression also is not helpful. In Sahaja Yoga, there is no question of suppression. You become innocent. Just become innocent. That is the principle of Shiva. This Sahaj culture is in the center. It's neither too much of licentiousness nor too much of suppression, but it is in the center, which is the Shiva's greatest principle, is to be innocent. And this innocence just shines in you. I've seen it. You people, whatever you might have done before, but I see you're so pure. You don't have these stupid ideas of behaving in a manner that is so Western. Also, so many Islamic people I've seen who have come to Sahaja Yoga have become very, very Sahaj and are leading a very good life. We have some Iranians who sent me letters of their confessions, and I was shocked. I never read them because it was too much for me. And now I find them to be the most moral people that we have. So going to one extreme is wrong, or to another is wrong, but to be in the center, in the Sahaj, is the best way to understand what is so important for life is morality. And that comes from your innocence. And that is the quality of course, Shri Ganesha, who is the son of Shiva, but is emitted through the innocence of Shri Shiva. Now, I think in next lecture of Shiva, I'll talk about innocence to you. But for this one, you have to understand the detachment that should evolve within. It cannot be forced, but through meditation, you can develop that detachment within you, which will be really joy-giving. So many qualities of Shiva can be described. And I think in so many lectures I have told you about him. I have to just say that you should have also collective meditation in your ashrams. Will be a good idea. If you can try collective meditation, will be nice. But you don't have to give vibrations to anyone. You don't have to look after the chakras of others. You just bother yourself. What's wrong with you? And now whatever is the solution for your ascent, you should do it. Because the responsibility of the whole world rests on Sahaja. This you know that there's no way out without Sahaja Yoga. To save humanity from all kinds of problems, Sahaja Yoga has come on this earth. So it is your responsibility to keep yourself in proper shape as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned. Get rid of your left and get rid of your right. And then to spread Sahaja Yoga, not by bombastic words or aggressiveness, but with love and compassion. I am sure we have done a lot, we have achieved a lot, but there are still some points here and there which is a very unpleasant task for me to correct them. But whatever it is, I have to say that it's working, and everybody should look at themselves and feel happy from where they have come here and how far we have to go. May God bless you.